would go to some of the schools where my students have told me the most horrible, horrible stories, and I would expose them. So here's a school in Shah Alam Secondary School. They have a jail. So if a student is naughty, they put the student in jail. So here's my student. At that time, he was in Form 4, 16 years old, Indian boy. Late for school, they put him in the jail. The jail was a small room that was, that you could lock, and was very, very dirty and dusty. This child has got chronic sinus and asthma. I have chronic sinus and asthma. So and one desk and one, he was 5 minutes late for school. One desk and one table. One desk and one chair. So he sits there, and after a while, his asthma and his sinus start acting up. So he starts shouting and banging on the door. The discipline master comes, opens the room, removes the desk and the chair, so that this boy then spent the rest of the day sitting on the floor or standing in the jail, in the school in Shah Alam. So I will go to the school, and I have hundreds of stories. Headmaster in a school in Kuching, Sarawak, where the headmaster takes the boys into his office and touch here and touch there, quote unquote, my student. Hundreds of stories.
So these are instances where the school system perpetuates a kind of power relationship between teacher and students, and students are not empowered to renegotiate that relationship.
And there are gazillions of these stories, and they are horrible.
My name is Wai Ling. My question is directed to Datin Randy Cruz. Just now you mentioned about the hundreds of stories of children being abused in schools. I'm not as shocked as being shocked that parents take it. Parents allow this to happen. And I'd like to know, are you going to tell the world about this? This is the only way to change the system, to create a revolution, that the world sets their eyes on how Malaysia is children. Thank you.
Yeah, I did ask my kids, and I said, okay, so did you tell your parents? And the Kuching school example, the girl said no, because that particular headmaster of that particular school is very well known and very sort of important, famous, whatever, in Sarawak. And the school has a very good sports team, and the sports team wins a lot of things nationally. And the school gets a lot of money. So that particular headmaster is very, very powerful. And so the student is not going to go and tell the parent and so on and so forth. The other one, the Shah Alam jail, this kid is one of these, he's a really naughty little boy. He's not little anymore. So he's like, look, like, of course I wouldn't tell my parents, like, I'm a naughty boy. I mean, he's telling me I was very naughty. So, yeah, so I do try and share these stories in places like this, and whenever I get the chance to. But I think more importantly, I do very, very, very consciously use several of these methodologies that I advocate in my teaching. And I do very consciously try and create safe spaces for my students to at least be able to reveal to me various kinds of things. So, in my class, we fly from the topic that we are supposed to be talking about all over the place. But then, I'm lucky because I have that kind of freedom within my classrooms, and I can still cover the syllabus. All teachers are like, we have to cover the syllabus, and maneuver here and there. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of creativity. So, yeah. I think, to answer you specifically, where I try to be the kind of teacher, when I think back to the teachers whom I remember, and the teachers who inspired me, and the teachers who changed my life completely, I try and be that kind of teacher.
But do you also think, Marion, that it is incumbent before you do these kinds of public exposures to consider the child's readiness and safety in a sense?
That's why I've not mentioned any names of these children. And also, I think, to be fair, one has to go and check in the school. I have not gone to Shah Alam to check this jail out. I have not. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to reveal the names of these students.